Danny watches a lot of television and movies. John does not. Listen in as she tells him about what she's watching, and he tries to make sense of it all. Welcome to Watching My Stories with Danny and John.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Watching My Stories.
Here we are again some more.
I'm Danny.
And I'm John.
And you're John.
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
Yep.
And you know what? John's got jokes today. Supposedly.
Well, they're things I think are funny. So
yeah, so you can skip ahead if you...
Way to rush the open of the... Man.
Well,
no small talk.
Yeah, okay, so...
I'm John, I got jokes.
Isn't that how you introduce yourself to people?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, today we are going to do some jokes, I guess. I've got a couple movies, a lot of TV shows, and then we're going to discuss Julianne Moore in the Actors Corner.
Yeah, yep.
So there we go.
Okay.
So in John's joke corner,
here we go.
Drum roll, please.
Oh boy, now there's a lot of pressure. The buildup has been way too much. These are commonly referred to as dad jokes, and I think they're funny. So here we go. Hey. What did the supply clerk say when they jumped out of the closet?
I don't know. What did the supply clerk say when he jumped out of the closet?
Supplies.
Okay.
Oh, man. Hey. What do you call a salmon wearing a bow tie?
Oh, no. He's turning red. What do you call a salmon wearing a bow tie?
Sophisticated.
Oh, no. His legs are going too. Oh, no. Oh, no. I think now everyone is fully understands how little life we have.
Oh, yeah. It's the simple things. And the last one. This could be least.
Oh, no.
I grilled a chicken for over 2 hours last night, but it still wouldn't tell me why I crossed the road.
I think you might have to. I'm not sure if everyone could catch the end of that. Oh, no. That was... Oh, no.
Whew. I grilled a chicken for over 2 hours last night, but it still wouldn't tell me why I crossed the road.
Yes. Okay. Oh, no. We're going to have to reapply your makeup. Okay.
I told myself I wasn't going to cry. Oh, man.
Well, thank you for that.
No, thank you, because I think I got more out of it than anybody else.
I think so.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Please feel free to share. He did not make these jokes up. He stole them as well. So.
Correct. Not original material.
Yeah. Please feel free to pass them along.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Do we need to
I'm done.
Regroup?
Probably, but let's just go on instead.
Why? Yeah. Why regroup now?
Why would we do the smart thing?
After all these years. Okay. Then we're going to jump into movies.
Okay.
And we're going to jump into the most important movie of the week.
I think I know what it is.
Yes. In the Heights.
Yes.
They released it a day early on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to come out Friday, and it came out Thursday. To my surprise, I was able to watch it twice that day.
And it opened in theaters.
Yep. If you do not have HBO Max. And actually, I'm still toying with going to see this in theater. So I've watched it 6 times so far. I think I might want to go see it on a big screen with. I mean, we have a big screen, and we've got the surround sound, and we've got all that, and I'm fully I love it. I'm just still like, maybe I should go see it in the theater too. I don't know. So. Anyway, how do we talk about this? Why don't you go first? So I've watched it 6 times. I sat with him. We watched it Friday night together.
Mm-hmm.
And we have not talked about it really at all.
Not really.
So you go first.
Okay. So we saw this show.
Yes.
Where do we see it? Was it at the?
It was here.
At Pantages.
That I saw it with you. I saw it in New York on Broadway.
You saw the original.
With my sister. Yes.
Cast. Right. Okay.
You saw Lynn in it.
I did, but it wasn't everybody from the original. So
correct.
Yeah, I got to see Lynn in his role.
And we sat next to Cloris Leachman.
We did. Oh,
R.I.P.
Who was she talking to? Her and 2 of my childhood moms. Was it Florence Henderson?
No, it was the Partridge Family.
Oh, Shirley Jones.
Yeah,
that's
she was
right.
behind us.
They were, and they were. Yeah, I actually got Cloris Leachman's water bottle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, good times. So absolutely loved the stage. Absolutely loved the stage show when I saw it, and you were very emotional after you saw it in New York. So it's one of our favorites, absolutely. And the movie, I think, did it justice. I mean, I really liked the movie. The cast was made for the TV movie or the movie. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would, because I thought the stage show would have been better. For me, this is just my opinion. I think we differ on this a little bit, but I would have thought the stage show would have been better to me. And I think I liked the movie better than I liked the stage show. I absolutely loved this. And I am now a huge fan of Anthony Ramos. I think that guy is amazing.
Yeah.
Really good. There's something, I don't know if it's his eyes or his persona, but there's just something really engaging about him. When he's on screen, I can't not watch him. Right?
Yep.
It's just something about him.
Yeah.
So I really, really enjoyed it. The music, of course, is great. I think the casting was really good, except for a few things like we talked about. I'll let
what
you.
What did we talk about?
Well, I guess they would be holes in the story.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about those if you want, but I'm not going to. I didn't notice until you pointed those out, so I'm probably more of a casual movie watcher than you are.
Well, I think when we sat down, I said, "Do you even remember the show?" And you were like, "Not all of it."
I didn't remember.
And they changed so much in the movie that I don't think you even... Do you remember what was changed?
No.
Yeah, so...
No.
Okay.
And that's me. That's how I am. I don't remember a lot of specifics of a lot of things. I just remember the feeling I had being there.
Yeah.
And the feeling I had with In the Heights was I really, really enjoyed it. I remember certain things that, pretty clear.
Yeah.
But not the whole... I don't remember things like you do.
Right.
So, I couldn't tell you what was different, but I really enjoyed the movie.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'll be on our TV many times.
Yeah, I know. And I will probably get to know the songs as well as you, probably just from osmosis.
It's possible.
I'm sure. You've already had it on 6 times, and I've now heard songs 6 times more than I had. So
yeah. Okay, so I'll try not to go on too long with this.
Okay.
In the Heights, the show, the musical show, is my second favorite musical of all time. Period.
Okay.
Rent being number 1, and there's even a reason for all of that. In that, me growing up, and the musicals I had to listen to were, Fiddler and West Side Story and Sound of Music,
classics.
And, and even then, 70s and 80s with Andrew Lloyd Webber, or, finally Les Mis coming out or whatever. It was still these very classical, very, Americana type things. And so finally when Rent came out, it was, and it's weird, it's going to sound like I'm stealing this from Lin-Manuel, because he has said the exact same thing, that when Rent came out, it was all of a sudden, holy crap, Broadway shows can be about people like us, and I don't mean people like me. It was about young people and young people living a life. And again, the music in Rent was so different than any of those classical musicals. So Rent, number 1, is always my first. But then we went 10, 11, 12 years before In the Heights came out. And again, we fell back into the very classicals again. And during that time. And so when In the Heights came out again, it was just, it hit me over the head with this music again, and about normal people, not about someone who did something great or, whatever it was. It was just about people. And so I fell in love again. And so knowing they were going to do this into a movie, it's always a rough thing for me, because they always have to cut so much, or they always have to do so much. I knew Anthony Ramos was going to be huge. We loved him in Hamilton. If you've seen Hamilton, he played John Lawrence in the first act and Philip in the second act, and so he was one of the smallest roles, but stand out still. So also knowing John Chu was directing this was a huge part of it for me too, because again, Crazy Rich Asians is probably going to be one of my favorite movies of all time forever. It's just so beautiful and wonderful. We watched last night.
Sat and watched most of it last night. Yeah.
So what do I say about this? It's well, I've watched it 6 times. I love it. They made a lot of changes. The whole second act is almost cut out, as far as the songs go. They made a lot of changes to the storylines. I mean, the whole Dreamer story is not in the show, and I have no problem with it being in here. I actually wish they had done a little bit more of that. They changed some really significant things that I was like, okay, it took me a few showings to now I'm like, I can get on board with this version. It's almost like a multiverse, right? I've got the universe of the show and how it happens and how it ends, and now I've got in another universe I have this other one that's just as great. I loved the way they told this story. I feel like there were a couple things that are wrapped up in the musical that maybe weren't wrapped up so much in the movie, but that's just me. I think just knowing, that sort of thing. They cut, I mean, Nina has a mother in the show and she has her own song, and they cut the mother doesn't even exist in this movie. Everyone was great. Anthony Ramos, yes, he carries it. And you had to have someone who could carry it because there's like 5,000 people in this movie, and he carries them all easily, no sweat off his back,
effortlessly.
Yeah. Just perfect. Love. And I want everything to come to this kid. I cannot wait for his album to come out in a couple weeks. Like, I am just so happy for him. Corey Hawkins, who has just been wonderful in everything. He played Dre in Straight Outta Compton. He was on Walking Dead for a couple seasons. What else do people know him from? He's done a bunch, and he went to Juilliard. He's just great voice. Again, replacing Christopher Jackson that everyone knows. That's a big position to replace, and Corey Hawkins did a great job as Benny. Melissa Barrera plays Vanessa. Yeah. Really loved her in this. And again, it's hard when you think of these, when In the Heights came out, again, it was mostly unknown people, and now they're all these superstars, and you go, how do you not compare yourself? But Melissa did a great job. Loved her dancing, loved her voice. She was just really, really great.
And believable emotion. That's sometimes overlooked is when actors have to show emotion
while singing, which is also really hard. Yeah.
It just, sometimes you can just tell that they're not, one or the other is not going well for them or something, and both her and Anthony Ramos show a lot of emotion in this while singing, while acting, while talking.
Yeah.
I mean, just, dancing and effortless.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks so natural and so moving.
Yeah. She was in the show. I think it was a Showtime show called Vita, that I watched the first half of the first season, and for whatever, it wasn't because it was a bad show, I just got behind. So I've seen her before, and I did like that show. I don't know if it's even still going on. And then playing Nina is Leslie Grace, who I guess is a recording artist, and I feel stupid for not knowing. But I guess she is. I liked her as Nina. I did. For me, the best voice in the show was Mandy Gonzalez as Nina. And I even remember my sister, who is not a huge musical person or anything, but when she walked out of that show, she was like, holy crap, that Nina's voice, like Mandy Gonzalez's voice was just so powerful and strong. And Leslie Grace was very different. It was a very smaller voice,
very sweet and
younger. Yeah. And so it's still taking me a little bit when her songs start and that voice comes out instead. And I don't like to do that to people because obviously the movies are going to be different than the shows and all that. But it's just that those songs with such a powerful voice to me make it feel a little bit better than what I'm getting used to as Leslie Grace's voice coming out in that. The woman who plays Abuela, she played Abuela in the original show, so she of course knocks it out of the park with her work. Daphne Rubin Vega, love seeing her as Daniela. That was so much fun just to see her again. She was the original Mimi and the original cast of Rent. So happy for her to see her have such a great and powerful performance in this.
Was she the salon owner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Who else? Jimmy Smits. He holds it down. Everyone is so great. And then, of course, Lin-Manuel playing the Pete Agua guy. Super awesome seeing him in that. It's actually a role, like on the stage show. It's a pretty big deal like that every time he comes on. And so I'm glad they made a big deal about him. And then they put Christopher Jackson in as Mr. Softy. It's just hysterical. And if you haven't watched it, be sure to stick around for the after credits scene because it's just lovely and fun. All the music. Look, they filmed the whole thing in Washington Heights. It's all authentic. These people are authentic. You do not have to be Latin or of any sort of Latin background to love and adore these people and understand them. And I think that's what's perfect about this show is that you can take Washington Heights and put it in any neighborhood that you know of or you grew up with, and it's the same people getting up every morning, taking care of their kids, going to work, living their life that they have to do while still dreaming for something bigger or hoping for something bigger, looking for your dream, your home, your people. It's just the most celebratory, hopeful, lovely story and music. And if you can sit there without moving, then something's really wrong with you.
Yeah, then you just don't get it.
Yeah, because the music, I mean, I'm just like, it's hard for me to not stand up and just dance along. It's absolutely wonderful. I don't know how much more to say about it other than it's fantastic. And just because they made changes, it doesn't make it any worse or anything. Like I said, it's just another universe of where this show's existing. And they made changes and it still works and you will still cry and you will still laugh and you will still dance and you will come out of it feeling so much better in such a great mood. You cannot walk out of there without being in a great mood.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is one of the few times I think where they made changes or big changes that didn't detract from the show.
Right.
It's just different.
Right.
But it's not worse or it didn't really negatively impact it.
Yeah.
It's still good.
Now, if they had cut out any of my favorite songs, I'd probably be saying, how dare they? I'd probably have a harder time.
Yeah.
And it started going towards the end, and my favorite song in the show, which is a very small song, is Champagne. And it was getting closer, and I was like, oh my God, are they going to cut that song? Are they going to cut that song out of the movie? And then it finally came up, and I was like, okay, I'm good.
Interesting.
Good
That's your favorite song.
I know. I don't know why. It just, I think when you see Lynn do it too, it's so fun. And Anthony did a great job of it too. It's just, it's one of those things where it's one of those songs where it's literally people talking to each other and yet it's a song. It's not really like it's a verse telling a story. They're literally having a conversation and Lynn somehow put it to music and made it work as a song. And his brilliance again is just over the top for me. I just worship for sure. So
we didn't talk about the kid who played Sonny.
We didn't talk about the kid who played Sonny.
Okay. Was that on purpose or was it an oversight? Or because we haven't talked about it even off to the side, even between us not here. I mean,
we have not.
I thought he did.
You want to say?
Well, I thought he did. I mean, you went through and talked about everybody really except for him, and he's actually a pretty big role in the movie. He's
very good. Let me just make sure I get his name right.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he did. I can't tell if he's 15 or 25, but he plays a high school kid in the show and in the movie. I thought he did a really, really good job, and he's not your
Gregory Diaz the Fourth. Yeah, he's like 16.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was very funny. He was very supportive.
Right.
Loved that they changed his character a lot because again, all that isn't in there. My I'm still struggling with the Blackout song, because again, that's like my second favorite song in the show. And they changed the song a lot because the whole story has changed, and that is the end of the first act, that song. So normally, of course, that song would be wrapping up and it sums up everything that's gone on, and since they've changed so much of the show, they had to change that song. I'm still struggling with that because that was a big part of Sonny's story as well, was in that song. So but anyway, he does great in 96,000. He's got his big section that he does. He did great. And so everyone's there's not anyone who let anything down in this movie.
Yeah, cool.
At all.
What's the name of the last song? The big finish?
Finale.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's probably supposed to be your favorite song, and that is my favorite song.
Yeah, it's the most moving.
That's the one with the cool breezes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, to me, that melody is just so awesome.
Yeah. And I literally, I mean, I listen to the soundtrack all the time, and that ending, I always tear up when I listen to it. So now it's like I'm having to watch it again, and it's such an emotional ending because, again, it's so uplifting and so hopeful, and you can't get past it without crying, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so it's on HBO Max. Definitely watch it. It's also at your theaters. Go see it. It's worth it. And the other thing is too is audiences with this show. I've seen clips from people going to the movies and watching it, and people are loud. They're getting into it. Yeah. They're doing all of that, and that was my loving experience when I first saw the show on Broadway. Again, after my life of like just, you go to Broadway and people sit there and then they clap and then they don't do. And this show was the first time where people were hooting and hollering and cheering and getting into it. And I was like, and I remember sitting there going, oh my God, he's tapped into this, right? Like, again, just he's tapped into this, and these audiences are getting it. And it's a different generation. It's a different audience that's going to this, and you can feel that energy, I'm sure, in the movie theaters as well. So it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
So In the Heights,
love it.
Stop
what you're doing right now and go see it.
Yes, turn us off. Why would you be listening to us?
Yeah, you have our permission.
Yeah.
Now that the jokes are out of the way, it's all downhill from there.
Oh gosh. Okay, the next movie I'm going to talk about is Cruella. Obviously, I talked about this on our last podcast. Yep. John was against it, and he didn't want to watch it.
Well, you don't need to go do all that to me.
And then I talked him into it, and we watched it. And what did you think?
I really, really enjoyed it. I did. I did not think I was going to like it. And, I should have known because it's Emma Stone, and I love Emma Stone. And, aside from her misstep with Hawaii, I think it was all, she's never let me down. Exactly. I mean, she is, I don't even know how to describe what she does in this movie because she owns it. She is just a powerhouse in a way like we've kind of known she could be there and do, but not, thinking her thing. So, I didn't want to, okay, full disclosure, I didn't want to see it because I didn't want to see my Emma Stone as a villain. and as the movie unfolds, she ends up being Cruella de Vil, but this version of the villain is...
You're empathetic.
Well, it's understandable.
Right.
Right? And she's not the dog-killing villain that, you get... I don't remember the original story from Disney very well. Yeah, Either
does she actually kill dogs?
That's what I don't want to misstate what happens, but you certainly get the impression that she has,
right,
from the Disney original. And Cruella here doesn't do that, so okay, I can live with that. But it was really good just for her alone. But then Emma Thompson as the
real villain,
arch nemesis.
Yeah.
They're both villains and she's the arch nemesis. It's really kind of interesting. But her two sidekicks, her two Emma Stone's henchmen are really good and funny and hold their own. It was just really, really good. and very pleasant to look at.
Right.
The man, the cinematography in this again was really, really
costumes.
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah. The use of colors and contrasts in this was really well done.
Yeah.
So I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much more than I thought I would. And it turns out I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. I will watch it again.
Yeah. I knew you. I understood not watching it from the beginning, because again, I was a little hesitant too. But once I saw it, I knew there was no question you'd love it too. It's entertaining as heck, and it is that like I said last week, I love that Disney is exploring these villains as, you don't know, it's that thing of you don't know what someone's been through. Well,
they're exploring the villains as real people.
Right. And so it's, with Maleficent, with this, it's like, there's a reason, they've gone through hell and, some people just make other turns. Like it makes you very sympathetic, empathetic towards these people and how they behave. And they left this one open for a sequel. I'm very interested to see where that goes. So, I'm so glad you watched it and that you liked it.
Yeah. And as long as, she doesn't kill any dogs.
Right.
I'll watch a sequel.
I don't think they'll do that in this day and age.
No,
so
that would be...
Yeah. Yeah.
That would kill it.
Right.
No pun intended. That would kill it right there.
For sure.
People caught wind of that, they would lose it.
Yeah.
So
okay, good.
Yeah, loved it.
Yay. So if you have anyone in your life who's hesitant to watch Cruella, maybe this will help you to either convince them or you change your own mind and you can watch it too.
Mm-hmm. Good music too.
Yeah, very good music.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, we're going to move on to television.
Okay.
First series I'm going to talk about is season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. Actually, it ends tonight, but I belong to AMC premiere, so I get to see I watched the episodes a few days early because I'm just impatient that way. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. I'm not going to spoil a lot. Well, maybe I will. So the first half of season 6, which was like, I don't even know, a year ago or whatever, was fantastic. Loved it. Thought that Fear the Walking Dead was getting better than Walking Dead. So looking forward to the second half. And in the first episode of the second half, they killed off John Dory, Garrett Dillahunt.
Oh, okay.
Which was basically the main reason I was into watching this series in the first place. So upset, so disappointed. It's like, okay, what do we do now? And it turns out the rest of the season was really, really a letdown for me. They pulled that crap where they separated everyone in the group that we're following. And so then each episode followed like one person and what they were doing. They've done that with Walking Dead. They've done it with this before. I hate when they separate the group and then we have to do that crap. It just, I don't know why. I love them together. I love to see what they do together. I love the interactions, and
it's an ensemble show.
Yeah. So when you separate them like that, I feel like it's almost like a cheap way to just go, oh, well, you know what? Every episode we'll just talk about one character.
Yeah, you can get a bunch of episodes that way.
Right.
Which, if you're out of material,
it's
a cheap way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we ended with, and this was last week, started with the villain of this season is this crazy guy, and he found a submarine that had washed ashore, and so he was launching the nuclear missiles off of the submarine. And that is basically what tonight's episode is about, is all these missiles going off. And that's stupid to me. So I was really disappointed. So now there's a spoiler alert from tonight's episode. They're all kind of still separated and all these missiles have gone off. And so now what? I'll still watch it, of course. I'll still watch when they come back with the 7th season, because now I'm really curious what does happen now. But I feel like that was a weird, dumb little plot twist. I don't know. So I'm looking forward to Talking Dead tonight, because again, a lot of times I get some insight from that helps me. So I'll watch Talking Dead tonight and maybe something more will come forward. But anyway, that's my feeling. I feel like the second half of the 6th season, really not fun for Fear the Walking Dead for me.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk next about a little sitcom that came out. It was like a mid-season replacement thing. There was only 8 episodes, but I want to talk about it because I enjoyed it. It's called Home Economics. This was with Topher Grace from that 70s show.
We haven't even talked. You haven't even mentioned this to me.
Probably not.
Okay.
It was, I think it was on ABC. And because of him, I taped it. And every week I would watch it. And I really enjoyed it. And then I realized, it hasn't been on in a few weeks. That's because they only did 8 episodes. And it has been renewed. So now that it's been renewed, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. This was a little sweet comedy. Topher Grace is... it's about him and his brother and his sister. And his sister, she is a lesbian. She's in with, is it Sashir Zamata from SNL? I think is the woman who plays her. I could be wrong. I just watched Sashir on that other Michelle Buteau show, so I could be mixing that up.
Okay.
But anyway, so the sister, they have kids and they live very sparsely. So the reason this is called home economics is because of their statuses. So the sister lives very kind of lower income type thing. And then Topher Grace's character, he's a writer. He published 1 book, but it's not doing, now he has kind of spent the money, and his wife was a lawyer, but they have babies. So now she's home. So they're like in the middle. And then his brother, who appears to be a real idiot, is actually like this brilliant investor, and he's just got millions. And so it's the difference between like the 3 siblings and how they live, and the brother who has all this money just moved back to the area, so now they're all getting together again and kind of sharing their lives with each other. And so Topher Grace, being the writer, he started writing a book about their family and kind of that thing. But it's one of those cute sitcoms where the interaction is funny. Like, they're all funny, their spouses are funny, the kids show up every once in a while, are funny. Like, it was sweet, and I enjoyed it. And so I thought, well, since it's been renewed, I'll go ahead and bring it up, because I'm sure you can go online and find it somewhere and watch these episodes and come back for the second season when it starts. So yeah, I thought it was really sweet.
Is there anybody else in it that we would know?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, you don't have to pull names. I mean, I
think the mom is Nora Dunn. I could be wrong on that too. Now I'm blanking. I think the parents were really funny.
Okay.
They would show up every once in a while, and the way they treat the different kids is so funny too. It's just one of those, like, it's not as funny as like Modern Family or, something like that. It's just, but it is one of those family things where just the quirks and the ins and outs of how families relate to each other, know, that's all. Okay. So Home Economics, if it was on ABC, it's probably on Hulu. So you can check it out there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Next show I'm going to talk about is from Apple TV Plus, called Mosquito Coast. This starred Justin Theroux. So if you remember a Harrison Ford movie, it was Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. They did a movie, Mosquito Coast. It's that story. I never saw that movie, but Justin Theroux's uncle wrote the book, The Mosquito Coast, that the original movie was based off of. And so they've taken that and they've now stretched it out. So on Apple TV Plus, this first season was 8 episodes. I loved this show. Loved it. Yeah. I don't know why. I can't really explain it. Not a lot is going on. The basis of it is Justin Theroux's married. They have 2 kids. And in the first episode, we find out like they've been running from the government, the U.S. government, for like 15 years or something. And we come in and they're in California and they find out that they've been found. And so they have to run. And it's 8 episodes of them running, trying to get to Mexico. Then they get to Mexico, they get caught up with the cartel. Then they're running from the cartel. Then the U.S. government finds them again. Then they're running, and he supposedly has contacts in Mexico that are going to help him to live. And they can find a place down in South America and just live the rest of their lives. And that's it. That's the basis of the thing. But it is so compelling. I was in it from moment one. Hated the end of every episode that it ended, and especially the last one, because I didn't know it was the last episode. And like the way it ended, I was like, oh, that might be a finale. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh no.
Now I gotta wait Like, I'm so bummed. It was so good. I just don't know why. So I can't say that it will be as compelling to everyone. I really don't know. But until I know someone else who's watched it, I can't really state if it's just me or not. So if you've watched it out there, please let me know. I really loved it and can't say enough about it. So it's on Apple TV Plus, Mosquito Coast. Check it out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Next, you wanted to talk about a show that you had watched on Hulu called Sasquatch.
Oh, yeah.
And this was produced by Mark Duplass, right?
The Duplass brothers.
Oh, both of them.
Both of them. Yeah. Yeah. So you told, okay. So I have a fascination with Bigfoot, have since I was a kid. And you told me about this being out there. I didn't know it was out there.
Yeah, because I didn't know if it was just, the Duplass, like if it was a scripted movie that they just happened to call Sasquatch. I had no idea what it was really about. So
yeah, this was unscripted. This was a documentary series, 3 episodes, and I didn't know what to expect. And from a Sasquatch fascination standpoint, if you're an aficionado of Sasquatch. You're going to be pretty disappointed because Sasquatch, Bigfoot is such a minor part of this. It's much more about cannabis growers in Northern California in the 70s, 80s, 90s than it is about Bigfoot. So the premise of this whole thing, and I'll try to keep it short, is that there was a rumor or some guy said they saw some bodies that had been torn up by a Bigfoot at a cannabis growing site back in 1993. So the documentary is from the standpoint of a documentary filmmaker. I think his name is David Holthouse, who tried to track down the real story of this and find out if it was true because, there have been multiple stories throughout the years of Bigfoot having killed people, but nothing, they can't even prove Bigfoot is real right now. So they certainly can't prove that Bigfoot killed somebody. But among researchers and people who follow Bigfoot, stories, there's been stories out there. It turns out that this was a fabricated story to try to scare people off this cannabis farm, which was the biggest one in the area at the time, was making millions of dollars for the people. And some people were trying to move in on it. So they actually killed 3 guys. The murders were real. They killed 3 guys, dismembered them, and strewn them around an area, knowing that people who talk would find it. And it worked to perfection because it scared everybody out of there, and everybody bought the story that Bigfoot had done it. And nobody wanted to be out in the woods there. And
gotcha.
It worked perfectly.
Okay.
So
so Bigfoot was just a cover-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the Bigfoot, throughout the 3 episodes of the documentary, Bigfoot was a very minor part of it.
Gotcha.
It was mostly this guy tracking down cannabis growers and people who worked there and, talking about that industry and the things that went on, that sort of thing.
Trying to find the real murderers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Pretty disappointing, all things considered.
I'm sorry about that.
I pulled a U. I had it on while I was working.
Yeah.
So I didn't I wasn't sitting there invested in it.
Sure. So, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're a Bigfoot lover, skip it. If you're a true crime,
I wouldn't even say it was done well enough to be interesting from a true crime standpoint.
Okay. Yeah, because nothing you said made me want to watch it. So
yeah, it was. It could have been 1 hour and a half episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could have been a movie. It
Yeah.
It should have been just one
documentary
movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's on Hulu if anyone still wants to watch it.
Don't, but it's out there. But don't.
Oh.
Yeah.
I usually love everything the Duplass brothers do. So
yeah,
but whatever.
They were executive producers, so I don't know
how much they were really involved.
Yeah, it's not like they wrote it or
right.
anything
That's
like that.
True.
So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
That's it.
Okay. Moving on then, the next series I'm going to talk about is Younger.
Okay.
The 7th series just ended, and that is it. The show is over, and I wasted 7 years of my life watching this show, which is basically what they wanted me to find out by the end of this. So
You enjoy watching Sutton Foster, so
love watching Sutton Foster. She's had a little black mark against her the last couple months, but move on. Hilary Duff, everyone in it is great. The series started out with Sutton Foster trying to pretend that she was a 25-year-old to get back into the workforce, blah, blah, blah. It quickly turned into a romantic show where, with the typical triangle where she was dating this young kid, Josh, or did she want to, be with someone her own age?
Pick on somebody her own age?
And so there was always this back and forth between these two guys, all the while, working and doing all of that stuff too. Of course, I was in the camp for the older guy because the first interaction she had with the young kid, she went to his house and he lived with other roommates, other young guys, and he didn't have a door on his bedroom. And I thought to myself, no woman in her 40s would end up in a relationship with a dude like that. I see you go back, you've been drinking, you have some fun, and you go, yay, I was just with a young guy. But you don't end up in a relationship with a kid who doesn't have a door on his bedroom. So from that standpoint, I was like, there's no way, this is stupid.
Well, I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say there have definitely been 40-year-old women who got involved in a relationship with a young guy who didn't have a door in his bedroom.
Well,
now, are they worth following? No, absolutely not. You get what you pay for, and shame on you for following them.
So, and the older guy is just the best and wonderful and stuff. So they took us through the 7-year, thing of which one is she going to pick. And then finally she's with the right one, in my opinion. And it's all this. And even this whole last season was still the up and down. And what are they going to do? 2 seasons ago, I think, was when she finally came out that she was her age, right? So then once that plot point was done, the show should have ended. And instead, they still took us on this stupid ride of, and I was getting bored with it. I kept saying, oh my God, every episode is, will they or won't they? Will they or won't they? Will they or won't they? And it was just I can't take it anymore, And so then but of course I'm invested, so I'm going to keep watching. So this last season finally comes out, and, it was the same thing of just, nope, they broke up. Nope, they're together. No, they broke up. No, she loves him. No, blah, 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 all the way to the very last episode. And here's where they threw me, is because half of it is at the end, these 4 women sitting down talking about their careers, which I loved. They've all, one's an artist and she's getting her, dues, and Hilary Duff has formed her own company and she's moving to LA and is doing this huge thing. Sutton Foster has become editor-in-chief of the publishing company they've been working for this whole time. And I'm sitting there going, yay, why wasn't this really the focus of the show, right? These women and the work, and there's little bits everywhere, but they made these romances such a big deal. And especially with all of these characters, they went through romances, and yes, that's real life, but they made it really the focus of the show. So of course I'm still bummed when she doesn't end up with the guy that I want her to end up with. And then the very end, there's the young kid and they're giving each other googly eyes. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now you're going to try and tell me that they end up together. Whatever.
Googly eyes.
Googly eyes. See, she's too old to be with the young person. So it was just, I just felt a little,
let down.
Yeah. And it wasn't, when you sit back and look at it over that period of time, it just wasn't good. It wasn't good enough to go on and on right. That kind of subject matter. Now, what's her name does the costumes, Patricia Fields, who does the Sex and the City costumes. So that was a whole nother reason to watch the show, because the outfit, the clothes were to die for. Everyone's great in it. It's just, why? I feel like we're so past that whole thing. The focus could have mainly been about the work, and then thrown in, oh, you're dating this person, whatever. But that love triangle thing, it works on so many levels, and that's why everyone uses it. I mean,
but nowadays, as civilization progresses, that only works for a period of time, right? And then it's tired and it's overdone.
Yeah, exactly. 7 years was way too long.
I don't even think it needs to be 3. I mean, figure it out.
Right.
Move on to something more entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know some people are entertained by that sort of thing and can take it however long it goes on.
Yeah.
But that's the definite minority. I mean,
yeah. Well, look, the show started on TV Land. And then this last season, it moved to Paramount Plus because, I think it was done. And they were like, no, let us finish it out. And I was like, oh, God. It could have finished with the 6th season. I would have been fine. They're
probably under contracts. It would have been more expensive to buy everybody out and end it than it would have been to, keep going. They got advertisers, right? So it kind of pays for it. I don't know. Who knows? But, that's the problem with a lot of things, a lot of shows is they're put out there for financials. Financial reasons because they're either stuck or they make money. They're not very good, but they make money and they just keep going. And this sort of thing, as you're talking about, it really makes a person appreciate shows like Lost and The Good Place and things like that, where the whole thing is kind of thought about from start to finish. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of how long it takes to get there. And The Good Place was really impressive because they could have kept going, but they did their show in 5 seasons or whatever it was, and that was that, and they ended it. And it was perfect, and we love it.
And Schitt's Creek.
And exactly.
I don't want to keep watching them do the same stuff more and more years. As funny as they are, it was perfect to end it right where it ended.
Right.
Because, you got to grow, you got to change, you got to move on. And 7 years of these people kind of doing the same thing. Yeah. It was too much. So.
Well, a lot of these shows come along that they rate the first year. They have a real good idea for the first year or whatever. And then they get picked up for more. And they're like, oh, crap. Now what do we do?
I've witnessed it time after time.
And you can just tell by watching the next season or, irritatingly enough, the next 6 seasons where they're out of ideas. They just keep recycling the same thing in different form.
Well, I'm about to talk about, I'll skip ahead a little bit. I was going to talk about Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist getting canceled. That's a perfect example because the first season is perfection.
Yes.
It is a great story. It is about her family, her dad's illness, and then also where she works and kind of getting into the workplace. It was a perfect balance of everything of someone's life. And after that dad's illness storyline went away in the second season, it was lost.
Yes.
They didn't know what to do. And I know we both spoke about this when the second season was over. It was just like, we still love it. It's fun. It's whatever. She was getting on your nerves a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no direction. What is the point of the show anymore?
It's kind of like after the first season, you just made me think about this. It's kind of like after the first season, they were out of really good ideas and they just told Jane Lynch, is that her name?
No.
Okay. Oh, what's her name?
Jane Levy.
Okay. Jane Lynch. They told her, look, just act as quirky and sometimes as crazy as you can.
Yeah, I know. I disagree with you on that. But that doesn't really, negate the fact that there was no direction in the whole second season. Again, love triangle thing. Let's throw the love triangle thing in there. And now what does her family go through and all this? There were some beautiful moments in the second season, but we both felt like it definitely didn't have a direction. Now, it's been canceled. The creator is trying to revive it as much as possible to go somewhere. He's trying to do a hashtag, save Zoe's playlist. I would be thrilled if it came back because I just love musical shows. So, and I did like most of the characters and I'd like to see what they could do. But that is definitely a show where if I were to recommend to someone, I would probably say just watch the first season because it is some of the most beautiful stuff I've ever seen.
First season was great.
First season was awesome.
Yeah.
And I will always tell people to watch that first season. If you stop there, that's perfectly fine. So yeah, it's, and not that Younger should have been done at the first season, but 4 or 5 at the most would have been fine. So anyway, if you don't have Paramount Plus, you weren't able to watch this last season, you didn't miss anything. Okay. So, but if you do have Paramount Plus, you can go back and watch that last season. So, the last one I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to talk about a lot because you're still watching it, is a show called Hacks.
Yes.
So this is on HBO Max. It stars Jean Smart, and I don't even know that girl's name.
Yeah.
I got to look up her name. So There's 10 episodes. I have finished it. John, you are halfway through, right?
I think we've watched
5 or 6.
I think 6.
So we will talk about this more in the next podcast because he will be finished by that. But I just want people to go and watch the show. Even if you think you won't like it for some reason, it is so good. It is so good. Jean Smart plays this like Joan Rivers type of legend comic stand-up type person. And then there's this girl. I got to look up her name because I feel bad because she's really good.
Yeah.
Her name is Hannah Einbender. I hope I'm saying that right, and I'm sorry if I'm not. So this character, Jean Smart's character, Deborah, hires her to help write some jokes and stuff. And she's a Gen Zer up against a boomer, basically. And it is really the comedy of the generational gap is one thing. It's hysterical and wonderful. But then it's also how different they are, but how alike they are. You know, the things that they find funny. So you love that they connect on their senses of humor. You love that they connect just on being women. And yet they don't connect. You know, it's such a wonderful, what made me think of something with the Julianne Moore thing was the movie Roommates with D.B. Sweeney and, what's his name?
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
It was such a good movie. It was him and like his grandfather and how they don't, it's one of those situations where you put two people together, they don't really like each other, but then they end up liking each other. You know, there's in Hacks, that's what it is, but it feels bigger. It feels like there's something bigger to it. And it's funny. It's so funny.
It is funny. It's great. And it's a boomer, very often putting a millennial in their place.
Yeah.
Which
Gen Z.
Yeah. Which, sometimes feels good. Cuz, whatever, but and it's just an interesting dichotomy between those particular generations.
Yes, for sure.
Man, and I love Jean Smart.
Yeah.
Always have. She's
so
awesome.
Great.
This new girl is growing on me.
I really like her.
I'll be honest, the 2 episodes in, I was like, I do not like this girl at all. So,
well, you're not supposed to. She's not a great person, but that's part of the arc of the character. So
yeah, it is, and I guess they just really want to reinforce it because they keep making her open her mouth when any person would know better.
Oh well, yeah,
but, and it just it's to me, and I'm just we're gonna differ on this and whatever, but to me she I don't know, was almost unbelievable as a person for the first episode or 2.
That's weird.
Yeah, she was just nobody in their right mind would keep doubling down or keep saying things. Just keep your mouth shut. And
I think you're wrong, but okay.
I prefaced it by saying you're going to think I'm wrong and we're not going to agree on this. But that was. But she has grown on me, and now the relationship between the two. I've got 4 episodes left.
Yeah.
And she's grown on me to the point where it's like, okay, now she's a full character.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So we'll talk about this more in our next one. But definitely go to HBO Max, watch Hacks. 10 episodes. They're half-hour episodes.
Yeah.
And they're so enjoyable. You will just keep watching the whole thing through.
I'm loving it. I've wanted to watch the last 4 the last couple nights, and
we've had all this other stuff.
But yeah.
We'll get to it. Okay. So that is everything. We are going to move on to the Actors Corner and discuss Julianne Moore.
Okay. Sorry, I was wildly unprepared for it. So.
Oh, no.
Okay, now I am.
Okay.
I guess it wasn't that wild.
Movies you love. I can't see anything.
Okay, boomer.
I need to go to the eye doctor.
Squinting and holding her phone 3 feet away and 1 foot away. Okay.
Movies you love.
The Fugitive. And yes, she was in that.
Yep.
And Crazy Stupid Love.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have Crazy Stupid Love on mine as well. And it's funny because my cousin just watched that a couple of weeks ago with her kids. And I was just like, how could you not make it this long without watching this, But, and look, here's the thing I had with Julia Moore. And so I'm going to preface my stuff with hers. Yes, she's been in a lot of things. I tried to keep it to the movies where I feel like she had the most impact.
Oh, okay.
Crazy Stupid Love aside, because I don't watch it for her whatsoever. I definitely watch it for Ryan and for Steve Carell. So, but it's such a big movie for us that I had to have it here because we've talked about, I think, before, whenever we were doing like Emma Stone or whoever, that ending.
Well,
the fight sequence, I don't even know how to say it, but it's the best sequence ever.
It has probably my all-time favorite 45 seconds of a movie ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the scene where
Bernie comes
to a head when they're
in the backyard.
Everybody shows up in the backyard at the same time, and then David Lindhagen comes along.
Right. And then Ryan punches him,
and the
they
fight
all start,
between the three.
What are you grabbing?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the best sequence. It's so well edited and put together that even when I see it on and I know it's the end, I then put it on to make sure I see that scene, and then I'll change it again. Sure. Because that's 100% totally worth it.
I've done that many times myself. Yeah.
Okay, and you have The Fugitive, which is a great movie. So I have Crazy Stupid Love. Trust the Man is one of my favorite movies ever. Julianne Moore's husband actually wrote the movie. It's her, David Duchovny, what's his face from the morning show that we love, Billy Crudup. Oh, he's so good in this.
Oh, of
and
course.
and Maggie Gyllenhaal. It's the four of them, and it's I love the story. I love all four of them. Billy Crudup especially cracks me up. It's such a good movie. Absolutely love it. So if you ever see it on, if it's on, I have to watch it because it's hardly ever on. And then my third one here that I love is the prize winner of Defiance, Ohio. I think I spoke about this when we talked about with Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, you did.
It's a true story. It's set in the 50s, which Julianne Moore does brilliantly. And she's married to Woody Harrelson, who's a drunk. And she is smart. And back then they used to have tons of they had sweepstakes all the time and contests where you could write like the taglines for products, or you could come up with advertisements,
come up with a jingle
come up with a jingle, or you would just solve puzzles or whatever it was. Because they didn't have much money, she would enter all of these things and win. And there were even clubs back then of women who would get together to win these sweepstakes and stuff. And she would win, and that kept her family afloat. Like if their fridge broke, she would find a thing to win a new fridge, or they would get cash or a new car or whatever it was. That's what kept her family going. She would like doing the run through the grocery store in a minute to just grab all the groceries you could. She did that. I love this movie so much because they have a bunch of kids. It's written, I think one of the children wrote a book about her family and her mother, and that then became this movie. And so it's written from the point of view of one of the daughters in the family, and it's a great story about a strong woman during those times when having an opportunity and being able to do something like
taking advantage of her talents to keep her family afloat.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you can find this movie anywhere, definitely see it. The prize winner of Defiance, Ohio. Julianne Moore is just wonderful in it, and so is Woody. Woody's actually really good too. Okay, movies you like.
9 months.
Yes.
Although full disclosure, I like it.
Right. It's not for her. I watch it for Hugh,
Tom Arnold, and Joan Cusack.
Robin Williams for me is the ultimate for that movie. But yes, go ahead.
No, that's it. I mean, I forgot about Robin Williams.
Yeah.
But Tom Arnold and Joan Cusack.
Yeah.
I wish they were married in real life because I'd watch that reality show.
Oh my God. The delivery scene at the end with all five of them in there is just, anyway.
Yeah. Still Alice. Now, I don't believe I've seen the whole thing, but I sat through parts of it with you, and I just, what a tough role. Tough subject, but amazingly done with her.
Yes, I have it under my secretly love.
Yeah.
I just actually watched it a couple weeks ago, and it's horrible. It's a horrible subject matter of someone who gets early onset Alzheimer's, and she's a linguist. So to lose words to a person like that is even worse. But yes, she's tremendous in it, and it's such a great story. And it's also
an important story.
the daughter is Charlie's Angels.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Bella Swan, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so still Alice.
Naomi Scott.
No. Panic Room.
Oh, Kristen Stewart?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, should have been Naomi Scott.
Charlie's Angels.
Sorry, wrong angel. Although Kristen Stewart is growing on me too because of that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But I digress. Okay. What else you got?
Oh, that was all you had under like?
Oh, no. I got another one. Oh, what I meant was what else I got.
Yeah.
Sorry. I got us confused again. The Lost World Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that too. So I have 9 months, which we talked. Lost World, just yesterday I put it on. It was on after Jurassic Park and
makes sense.
And yeah, I don't like the third one in the series as much, but the second one I really do. Vince Vaughn and Toby, whatever, Toby from West Wing, and Jeff Goldblum being there again. The suspense was just as good in that second one. I really did like it. So yeah, what is Toby's name?
Richard Schiff.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I've got those two, and then I also have Freeheld under my like. Again, another true story. Her and what's his name?
Oh my God, you're having a tough day.
I am Juno.
Oh, Peter Sarah. Oh,
no, who played Juno?
Elliot Page.
Thank you. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah.
So they again played a true story of a lesbian couple that she was dying and wanted her partner to have the rights and the benefits, pension and all of that. And at the time that wasn't allowed. And so they had to go to court and fight and all that sort of thing.
Okay.
And they were the first couple to actually win their case so that the domestic partnership would allow benefits to pass through. Beautiful story. Bawled my eyes out. Again, Julianne Moore just did a great job in that. And so did Elliot Page. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anything you hate?
Yep.
Okay.
You know what it is.
The Hours.
Yep.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
I don't think you've seen it. There's no way you sat through that movie.
I did sit through the movie,
and her story was the best story.
Oh, none of them were good. They all made me want to kill myself.
You see, you're being a man. Yeah, that's the point. All those women wanted to kill themselves because stupid men and families around them.
And for that, I'm very sorry. But I didn't need to sit through it to appreciate that. I appreciate women's stories every day without having to sit through any television.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
And, there's some of my favorite people in there.
Yes.
It's
a great movie.
No. Sorry. Love you dearly, but no, it's not.
I loved Julianne Moore's story in that. Now, it didn't make my list anywhere because there's just so many others that I love more than it. But I will disagree with you on that I think it's a great movie.
Okay.
Anything else you hate?
No, that's it.
I put The Forgotten on here. And here's the thing. Yeah, I don't really remember it, but I remember I didn't like it. Here's the other thing.
Did you sit through it?
That one I think I went to the theater for.
You did not.
Yeah.
You did not. You might have.
Yeah, thanks. Going through her IMDb, there are a lot of movies that I'm pretty sure I saw that I don't remember at all. There were a lot of those like forgotten type movies in the middle there somewhere that I was like, oh, and I would click on it to go, what's that about? And I was like, oh yeah, I think I saw that. I don't remember it. You know what I mean? So there were a lot of those bad type, boring, I didn't like them in one ear and out the other type movies, but whatever. Why are you laughing at me?
I so badly want to make a joke about your upcoming birthday, but I'm not going to.
Okay. I'm so glad you didn't.
Yep.
Okay.
Not going to.
What do you secretly love?
The Forgotten?
There's no way. There's just no way. Who else was in the movie?
Dominic West.
Who's that? Oh, yeah.
What do you mean, who's that?
Is that Jax?
I don't know that.
From The Affair.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes.
See, I don't remember.
Him and her together were great.
And it was stupid. Like, they couldn't remember, but they had to forget, and it was dumb.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was really, I thought it was really clever because everybody wanted them to forget, and they wouldn't.
Okay.
Maybe I was just jealous.
Okay. Anything else you secretly love?
Nope.
That was it?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so I had Still Alice on here. Evolution, which we just watched a couple hours ago.
Okay, yeah.
Because, come on. I mean, I understand that some people think that like that's a cult movie or something. It's just funny. It's just good and funny and smart. Not smart, clever.
Yeah, it's not smart.
Ivan Reitman directed it, which again I didn't realize until I looked it up today when we were watching it. But it's clever and it's funny, and again, I don't watch it for her. I watch it for David Duchovny and especially Orlando Jones.
Which we talked about. What happened?
Yeah,
to him.
what is he doing
We
these days?
need to look him up because
I just and also Stifler. I mean, he's funny in it too. I don't know. I like that movie a lot. What?
Is it Sean Patrick Scott?
No, Sean William Scott, maybe? It's not Sean Patrick.
Okay.
It's Stifler. It'll always be Stifler. Okay, so I have that, Still Alice, and Hunger Games. I put that in there because I just, those I like those movies so much that kind of whenever someone that's in them, it's going to make a list somewhere. So
Yeah.
She didn't come in until the second one. Right, or the third? I don't remember.
Third.
She's prominent in the third, but I think she kind of came in the second.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Anything you're embarrassed you haven't seen?
The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, you've said that over. Yeah, and the sequel's coming, so we should watch the first one, so then you can watch the second one.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
but every time. Yeah, I mean, it's just on a lot of people's. I didn't know. Truth be told, I didn't know she was in it. I haven't seen it. So I didn't know she was in it, but it's in her IMDb too.
Right.
And I thought, it's been in enough people are apparently in it. I need to see it.
Yeah. It's Coen Brothers. You should. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything here. And then adding to your watch list?
Well, I put Far From Heaven.
It was just on the other day too. And I love that movie.
But it sounds like I could easily put several others based on how strongly you feel about them and how much you like them.
Far From Heaven is a great choice. It's a wonderful movie. I know it didn't make my list because I was having trouble sticking in there, and Prize Winner and Far From Heaven kind of came out at the same time, and I love Prize Winner better. But it's she's married to Dennis Quaid, he's gay, and going through that whole thing, and then she kind of has a flirting thing with her. I think, is it Dennis Haysbert?
Dennis Haysbert.
Yeah. It's a wonderful story, and it's beautifully shot. So.
That's what Ernie used to say. Haysbert. I got jokes.
I have some honorable mentions. Roommates being there. That's the DB Sweden one I was talking about. Boogie Nights. She's great in Boogie Nights. And again, I wanted it to make the list, and I just had others that I love more. But she's great in Boogie Nights.
That's weird. I don't remember her in Boogie Nights. I remember Burt Reynolds and Mark Wahlberg, and that's it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
She's like, okay. She's a big part of it.
Okay.
Magnolia, I had The Hours. The Kids Are All Right, again, where she plays, another lesbian. But that's a good movie. Game Change, where she's Sarah Palin. She did a good job as Sarah Palin.
Some would argue she did a better job with Sarah Palin than Sarah Palin.
The Second Kingsman, which I know you still haven't really seen, but she was a pretty good villain in that.
I've seen it.
And on 30 Rock, I always have to mention when she was on there. She had the worst Boston accent ever, but it was so funny. It was just, too much. So
that's funny.
Yeah. So
okay.
I can't believe we hadn't done Julianne Moore before, but and she has, the reason I thought of her is she has a new show on Apple TV Plus that I just haven't gotten into yet. It's kind of a Stephen King type story.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I just haven't gotten into, but I think I'm probably going to give it a shot here in the next week.
How do you pronounce it? Lacey?
I don't know if it's Lizzie or Lacey. I honestly don't know.
Okay. Lisey.
Yeah. So
look for it.
I'm going to give that a shot, and I might not continue, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Ooh.
We are good for another couple weeks.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, that was a lot. There's a lot of TV that happened to end, so.
A lot of TV happened.
Anyway,
okay.
Happy June to everyone. We will be back, I guess, around the end of June.
So, yeah, sounds reasonable.
Okay. Then have a good couple weeks. Until then, I'll be watching my stories.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, bye.